Hi, my name is Suleiman. I'm the founder of Ruthless Digital, a pay-for-performance Google Ads agency for e-commerce businesses. And today I will be quickly showing you how to succeed with Google Ads for your business. I don't care what industry you're in. I do e-commerce primarily, but you can be in anything for God knows, and I will still be able to help you make more money using Google Ads. So let's begin. Really, a lot of people complicate things to make themselves feel important. I do the complete opposite. Where everybody zigs, I zag. I make things as simple as possible because I believe simplicity is the ultimate form of intelligence, and I like to dumb things down to the point where everybody can understand them, irrespective of how familiar you are in digital marketing. So let's begin. So, the most important things to be successful in Google Ads, there's basically five of them. And the first one starts, I'll just get right into it, no more intros, is the budget. So when you talk about budget for Google Ads, what you have to do is think about the keywords people search for when they think of your business. So for me, let's just say a keyword example could be Google Ads agency for e-commerce businesses. That's what I do, right? So if I was bidding on that term, let's just say the search, Google search ads, and let's say that it cost about on average, and you can see how much it costs per click by using the Google Ads keyword planner. It's free. Literally just type in Google Ads, make an account, and then what you have to do is just go to this thing called Keyword Planner, and you can start to see pretty accurate search volume and data for how expensive it is to bid for certain terms. So let's say it costs $20 per click, right? So what that means is, I was never that great at math, but even I could do it. The math is this simple. $20 CPC. CPC stands for cost per click. I'm going to be using this acronym for henceforth. If there's a $20 cost per click, if you want to be successful with Google Ads, your budget needs to be able to afford at minimum. When I say at minimum, I mean at minimum around 500 clicks, ideally 500 clicks. So what does this mean? Well, it means that if I wanted to do Google Ads for my Google Ads agency, and I wanted to target, say, a term like Google Ads agency for e-commerce businesses, and it cost me on average $20 per click, you need to account for your campaign's budget to be able to have 500 clicks. So that is approximately 10 grand, right? 10 grand is the amount of money I should invest in before I call it quits, before I say whether this is working or not. And you might say, well, why not less? Why does it have to be this much? Right? And the reason is, on average, across all different industries, you have a 2% conversion rate. You might have higher depending on what industry you're in, what product you're selling, what service you're offering. Some may be way lower, right? I'm working soon with a real estate investor client and we're selling houses. You think people are going to just be buying houses at 3% conversion rate? No, they'll be much lower. Some e-commerce and business I work with, they have like a 3.5% conversion rate. That's kind of high, but they sell a lower ticket item. So what your conversion rate is subjective on what you're offering. I won't get into that because I don't offer that service in general, but a rough estimate, let's say, is around 2%. If you have a 2% conversion rate per 100 clicks, you might say, why would I need $10,000 in order to test? Well, it's not perfect math. It's not like if I spend exactly enough money for 100 clicks that I'm going to get two conversions. It doesn't always work like that. It goes in ebbs and flows. It's like a wave. It's not always consistent. So like I might spend, you know, a lot of money, 4 grand on 200 clicks and get zero conversions. But then that next set of clicks that goes from 200 to 300, I might get three conversions. It's just the luck of the draw, right? Because you have to realize that there is a human being at the other side of the ad. It's not like a machine robot that you can perfectly calculate. It's just 2%, but you have to keep in mind just exactly 100 clicks is not going to warrant you a 2% conversion rate. It might take more clicks, which is why 500 is a very good estimate between low and too much in order to like figure out how much budget you need. So now that we have the budget question, that explains it, right? Figure out how much it's going to cost you on average for 500 clicks and assume a 2% conversion rate. So if I have a 2% conversion rate, and let's say the average order value of a client for me is 3 grand a month. So it cost me 10 grand. Let's say I get let's say our conversion rate's lower because this is a different service. Realistically, it's probably going to be 1%. So I get 5 clients, and let's say I'm charging them 2 grand a month. Well, in a perfect scenario, I recoup my investment of 10 grand within a month of working with them, right? That's a perfect scenario, 1% conversion. So there's some flaws with this example. I'll go into that momentarily. So first and foremost, to be successful with Google Ads, you need to account that your budget can warrant 500 clicks. Okay. And if you're selling a higher ticket product, a higher ticket service, and in this case for consumers, higher tickets, anything over 1 grand, and for B2B, anything over like 5, 10 grand would warrant higher ticket. It's going to cost you a little bit more. You might need to do 700, 800 clicks. If you cannot afford that, then you need to go back to whatever advertising method is working for you originally. You just cannot afford Google Ads, simply put. Some agencies might try to sell you on this dream that you can afford it. You just need to do this and that. Like realistically, 8 times out of 10, that's just not happening. And that's fine. We're all at different stages of our respective businesses. So if you cannot afford that immediately, and that's just the ad spend, that's not even the agency fee, then don't do it. Just don't do it. So that gets the budget question out of the equation. Basically, in essence, you need to be able to afford 500 clicks in order to determine whether Google Ads is good for your business or not. Second is a unique selling proposition. This one is unbelievable. Like this one actually kind of irritates me almost. Like you talk to a brand and they say Google ads, Facebook ads suck. And I ask why? Why do you think it sucks? Well, they're like, well, we're not getting enough return on ad spend. And I ask, okay. So then I start asking them questions about their business, their industry, and I ask them in 2 sentences, summarize what makes you unique to your competitors. And they go completely blank because there's nothing unique about the service they're offering. You need to have a unique selling proposition. The acronym for that is USP. If you do not have a USP, then the likelihood of you being successful in a competitive industry is very low. It's abysmal because like the other people are going to have some USP that makes them more interesting than you. And USP is never price, by the way. Don't compete on price. That is not a USP. A USP, so like let's use me as an example. Ruthless Digital, we work on a pay for performance basis. So that could be what that means is that what that means is we only charge a percentage of revenue we generate, whereas most agencies just charge a flat retainer. So the USP in this case is that in terms of psychology, our incentives are aligned. We can only make money when you make money. That's a USP. Most agencies don't offer sole pay for performance. They want retainers because they suck, right? We don't. We're the opposite. We're based. So we offer pay for performance. That's an example of a USP. In terms of budget and USP, if you have an outstanding USP, then you likely need a little, you can have less budget and get away with like getting a good return on your ad spend in the beginning almost immediately. If you do not have a USP, you need to go back to the drawing board and figure out what the product or service you're offering is different than what the market is offering. What makes it different? If you're selling furniture, this could be, for example, your furniture has a longer warranty than other people. That's a USP. If the other people are offering 1 year warranty, you're offering 5 years warranty. Now the consumer is going to think, wow, man, this dude's offering 5 times more in warranty. This dude obviously has quality products. That's how they're going to think, right? Now, obviously, your product should actually have 5 year warranty in this example. So don't make a claim that's too audacious, that's too unrealistic too, because that'll come back to bite you eventually. Maybe not in the short run, but in the long run. So one budget, you need 500 clicks. Really, if you don't have enough money for 500 clicks, then Google Ads is not the game to play for your business. You need a USP, whatever it may be. Free shipping and free shipping can be in some industries like furniture or higher ticket products, but free shipping and price is not a USP, people. You need something that is intrinsically unique about your brand or product that makes people want to buy in comparison to your competitors. In terms of saturation, saturation to a large extent just does not exist. As funny as that may sound, if you have a strong USP, saturation does not exist. Now, if you do not have a strong USP, then saturation definitely exists and you're going to get killed out there. The more competitive an industry is, the stronger your USP needs to be if you want to succeed with Google Ads. There needs to be something different. So, like, Let's use cybersecurity services for an example. That's an extremely high cost per click industry. You're paying $30 to $50 per click. Like you need to be able to convince people who are in the market for cybersecurity services that your cybersecurity services are different and better. So yours might be cybersecurity services hosted only in the United States. So meaning all your employees are Americans and they have like government clearances from the Department of Defense. That's a unique selling proposition. People can get behind that. People can rock with that. If you are a company that has cybersecurity and nothing wrong with it, but you say outsource a lot of the fulfillment, the technical stuff to China or India, then you're probably going to get crushed in that market if your competitors are offering a service, the same service, but they're only hiring, say, Americans. Because now people intrinsically trust Americans more for cybersecurity for America. Because there's just like, it just should make sense to you if you're watching this video. So saturation exists only if you do not have a unique selling proposition. That being said, some industries are just super competitive. If you do not have a strong USP, then you're going to get crushed. And if you do not have a strong USP, do not try using Google Ads in a competitive industry. So, next step is that you need to know your numbers. Really, it's kind of shocking how many business owners you talk to, they kind of do not know their numbers. They need to know their numbers. There's 3 to 5 of them you really need to know off the top of your head. The first one is your average order value, your lifetime value, and your average customer acquisition cost on Google and on other platforms. So, like, if your AOV is $500, let's say, and your LTV is $2,500, you can afford to spend $200, $250 to get a customer. You might say, well, man, that's just the low ROAS. It's only 2x ROAS. Well, I might say, yeah, it is, but on the back end of the deal, you're making so much money that it's nonsensical not to pursue it. If you tell me I can make $2,500 by spending 250 on the customer acquisition costs, you're actually an idiot if you don't do that. Because you know what will happen? Your competitors, your enemies will, and they'll bid higher. They'll be willing to front the short-term end of like just making a little bit less cash flow, but on the back end, they're winning bigly because they acquired a customer that's a paying customer that you didn't. So now that one customer's gone out of the market. So you need to have a high AOV and a high LTV on Google Ads now. It's not like it was pre 2022, pre 2020, like as in pre COVID. Things are more tough. The cost per clicks have risen. The industry is just more competitive. You need an AOV of at least $50, in my opinion. In most cases, there are exceptions. I do work with some clients that have lower AOVs. You better have a USP, a strong one, if you're selling below $50, and you need to have a high conversion rate. But on average, I recommend you're spending at least $50. Your lifetime value should ideally be 2x your AOV, at least. You want to have it where your customers are so outstanding they think your product and service is stellar, so they're repeating orders, they're referring it to other people, but you need to have it where they're purchasing again. You need a strong LTV to win in today's economy. 2x AOV, in my opinion, is the minimum. You should be aiming for 4 at least, really. This is like a C. You need to at least be aiming for a B, really, because a C is right on the edge of a D, which is failing. So you need to see at least a B, really. So 2 to 4x AOV is a good LTV. And your net profit margin, if you're in consumer packaged goods like e-commerce, I would really suggest you have at least above a 30% net profit margin, ideally above 40%. If you're above 40%, you're going to have a lot of fun with Google Ads. Like you're going to come to love this advertising platform because it will work for you. If you're below a 30% net profit margin, things are going to be very tough and it's going to be difficult to recuperate the money you spend on advertising. So at least 30% in B2C, and that's at minimum, by the way. You actually want more. B2B, this is more subjective just because there's such a plethora of services, but still 30% for B2B or B2C is a good way of putting it. The higher net profit margins, the better. Ideally for B2B, you should have at least above, say, I'm gonna go with 30% for both. You want above a 30% for B2C and B2B. Ideally 40 to 50%, the higher the better, right? So if you don't have these net profit margins, then Google Ads is probably not for you. You can still try. It could still work. You can schedule a consultation call with me for free, and I'll talk to you about advertising and I'll see if it works for your brand or not. But the likelihood just diminishes exponentially. It's unrealistic to think that you're going to be balling on a budget with a 10% net profit margin. Unless your industry is completely new, unless like you're the first big player on the market. If you have a low net profit margin, paid ads is probably not your forte. And then your timeline should be realistic too. Too many times I talk to people and they want like 5x ROAS within like 20 days. That just doesn't happen. You need to be willing to wait 30 days minimum. 30 days minimum, not maximum, minimum before you see clear results. I think within 45 days, I almost always get my clients stellar results that keeps them going with me, that keeps them working with me. But 30 days at minimum, 45 days ideally. If you are on the more conservative side, up to 60 days. Really, 30 to 60 days, and let's just say the average of that is 45, right? So 45 days should be your expectation to see things work with Google Ads. So you should be able to afford at minimum 500 clicks over 45-day time period in order to be successful at Google Ads. So this is not something I would do if this is a last ditch attempt to save your business. If you're kind of going in the red with cash flow, I would just double down on like whatever's working for you, be it TikTok ads, Facebook ads. Only if you have money to play would I recommend doing Google Ads because you don't want the stress of like this click being the conversion I need in order to keep my business going, really. So these are the 5 things that are absolutely paramount, that are imperative, that are necessary in order to be successful with Google Ads in 2023, regardless of the industry you're working in. I hope you enjoyed this video. This was a bit of a tangent by me, but I hope you learned something. If you do need Google Ads specifically for e-commerce businesses, schedule a call below and I'll help you make a lot of money with Google Ads, assuming you meet this exact criteria. If not, you can schedule a call anyway, irrespective of what industry you're in, and I can probably either help you or show you someone that can help you. And otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Thank you and God bless.